All right, everybody, grab a seat. Let's get started. Welcome to today's Explainer. Now, we're doing something a bit different today. We're actually taking a massive leap forward in time. We're going to be looking at an AI-predicted 400-year timeline that was mapped out by a design team known as the Arcadians. And as your guide through this, I want you to treat this not just as some, fun science fiction story, but as a deeply important lesson plan. The Arcadians designed this to warn us about where our current habits are leading, sure, but also to show us the incredible, almost unimaginable potential we have if we can just learn to work together. So open up those notebooks and let's dive into the next 4 centuries of human history.
So here is our roadmap for today's lesson. We're tracking humanity's progress and our pretty major stumbles through 5 distinct eras. We'll start in the not-so-distant future with the year 2040, an era pretty ominously titled The Reckoning. From there, we slide right into the dystopian era of 2070, which is followed by a drastic measure in 2100 known as the Retreat. But don't worry, the syllabus isn't entirely doom and gloom. We're going to examine the return in 2200, and finally, how we start rebuilding with nature in 2250. It's a timeline that brilliantly illustrates this wild pendulum swing of human civilization, from total climate disaster all the way to a breathtaking technological rebirth.
Just to quickly run through today's lesson plan, we're covering a glimpse of our future, the reckoning and dystopia, the great surface retreat, rebuilding with nature, and finally, the singularity arrives.
All right, Section 1, a glimpse of our future.
To really understand this timeline, we've got to understand the architects behind it. 2 Arcadians were tasked with this monumental design challenge of looking 400 years into the future. But this wasn't just some exercise in wild imagination, right? It was an exercise in extreme cause and effect, completely rooted in the data of our current world. Their mission was, quote, to both warn humanity of the dangers of the current climate conditions and show our species its great potential should we work together. I actually want you all to underline that in your notes. This timeline is a strict cautionary tale about what happens if we ignore the science of today, but crucially, it's also a beacon of hope. It shows that if we apply the scientific method, if we innovate and collaborate, our potential is literally boundless.
Which brings us to Section 2, The Reckoning and Dystopia.
I'm going to lower the energy here just a bit, class, because it is absolutely vital we understand the sheer gravity of these early historical missteps. We start this dark chapter in the year 2040. The Arcadians refer to this period simply as the reckoning. This is the moment where the bill finally comes due. All those ecological debts humanity has been racking up over the 20th and 21st centuries, they finally reach a breaking point.
And the thing is, we tried. Society really made efforts to push green initiatives and eco-friendly policies, but those failed sustainability agendas simply couldn't compete with our core behavioral flaw, which was humanity's absolute obsession with overconsumerism. We just wanted too much, way too fast, and we completely outpaced our own planet's ability to regenerate.
And well, that brings us to the inevitable consequence. The year 2070, the dystopian era. Living conditions became inconceivably depressing. We're talking unhygienic and, frankly, inhumane environments. But you know what the most shocking reality is here? The sheer mismanagement of waste dumping around our planet got so severe that it literally spread into space. Just imagine looking through your telescopes and seeing orbital landfills. No way, right? The situation becomes so absolutely dire that world governments are left with 0 options. They are forced to assemble the people of all nations to figure out a radical, completely unprecedented solution.
So what did they do? Section 3, the Great Surface Retreat. This leads us right into the most massive sociological and geographical shift in all of human history. Think about it. When you've poisoned your own habitat to the point where it's literally unlivable, what is the scientific solution? You quarantine the habitat and you remove the contaminant. And in this case, we were the contaminant. So after a ton of trial and tribulation, they devise a 2-step survival plan. Step 1 happens in the year 2100. It's called the Retreat. Humanity literally evacuates the surface, living away from it for 50 whole years. It's a massive, enforced rest and recovery period for the Earth's natural ecosystems, letting the biosphere just reset without us interfering. Then we jump to Step 2, the Return, in the year 2200. After a long absence, humanity steps back onto the surface, and they discover something miraculous. The plan worked. Just by getting out of the way, humanity allowed nature to flourish outstandingly once again.
That leads us nicely into Section 4, rebuilding with nature.
Okay, let's bring the energy back up, because here is where the lesson gets truly inspiring. Having learned the brutal, hard lessons of 2040 and 2070, the humans of the 23rd century don't just go back to their old ways. Actually, they transition into an era of profound environmental harmony and just awe-inspiring technological achievement. I want everyone to write this next vocabulary word down: transbotanism. When they return to a healed surface, all the greatest scientists, pioneers, futurists, and Imagineers get together and collaborate. They devise new methods to ensure society's technology and architecture fundamentally revolve around and integrate with nature. Instead of just paving over the biological world like we used to, transbotanism means our infrastructure actively participates in it. It is a total paradigm shift in engineering and biology. Fast forward to the year 2250, and this massive effort reaches its full stride. This is the era where humanity is actively rebuilding. We are taking those principles of transbotanism and applying them to assemble a really harmonious routine life in local, thriving neighborhoods. And how exactly are they building these neighborhoods? Biomimetic 4D printing. The visionaries of 2250, they aren't laying bricks, they aren't pouring concrete. They are literally growing architecture. They use natural matter, artificially reproduce it, and then dynamically edit it for our structural needs. It's called 4D printing because time and biological growth itself are factored right into the construction process. It's this incredibly elegant, zero-waste solution that perfectly marries high technology with organic life. Which brings us to our final section: the singularity arrives. But class, listen, just when we think human technological development has peaked, just when we've totally mastered our physical environment and achieved this utopian balance with nature, we hit the most mind-bending chapter of our entire syllabus. We reach a new frontier that questions the very nature of life itself. We've finally done it. The singularity is here. This is the point in the timeline where the traditional rules of biology and physics, they just simply stop applying to the human experience. According to the Arcadian timeline, in this ultimate era, humans completely merge with artificial intelligence. We upload our consciousness entirely into the digital realm. Every single manner of physicality, our bodies, our need for food, our physical vulnerability, is left completely behind. The design team notes that this incredible leap officially solidifies our position as a Type 1 civilization on the Kardashev scale. It allows us to fixate our collective eyes on the next grand cosmic challenge. Now, as your teacher, my job isn't just to hand you this timeline. It's to make you think critically about it. So I am turning the floor over to you for a bit of a classroom debate. Is leaving our physical bodies behind the ultimate victory over our fragile biology? Or is it actually the end of what makes us uniquely human? I mean, if we don't have bodies to feel the natural world we worked so hard to save in 2050, what are we? Furthermore, I want you to consider our definitions of progress. Does uploading to a digital realm genuinely make us a successful Type 1 civilization, which, remember, traditionally means mastering the physical energy of our home planet? Or does becoming purely digital beings categorize us as something completely different, something that exists outside that scale entirely? And finally, I want you to chew on this one before the bell rings. Think all the way back to the start of our lesson, back to the overconsumerism and the reckoning of 2040. If our ultimate solution centuries later is to completely merge with AI and abandon the physical world, did we actually solve the fundamental flaws of human nature? Or did we just build the ultimate escape hatch? I want you to discuss this amongst yourselves. Analyze the data, question the timeline, and ask yourself what kind of future you want to build today. Thanks for joining today's Explainer class. Class dismissed.